Good afternoon, everyone, especially to our professor, Ma'am Ruth Oriel. So this is Jollivive A. Bernabe from the English 301, and the topic that I'm going to discuss this day is the strategies in teaching reading and writing. Last time, we were asked to choose from the topics given and then make a modernized strategy on how to do it with our students. And after that, we are going to elaborate that strategy to make a topic an effective tool for teaching reading and writing. To begin my discussion, let us know first what is our goal of reading. What do we have in mind when we let our students or learners read? In order to read with comprehension, developing readers must be able to read with some proficiency and then receive explicit instruction in reading comprehension strategies. That is according to Tierney in 1982. So for us to be able to comprehend what we are reading, we should be proficient in that type of instruction, in that type of skill. And we should have, as a teacher, we should give our explicit teaching or explicit strategy for our learners, no matter what strategy we are given to them. And when using any teaching strategy, teachers should, number one, help students to understand why a strategy is useful. So we should let them know, okay, why do we use this strategy? How is it being useful not only to the struggling learners but also to other learners? And number two, describe explicitly how the strategy should be used. Okay, how are we going to apply this in different type of students? We should assess first the skills our students have and then teach them or explicitly give them instruction on how to use different strategies. So the topic that I chose is maps and graphic organizers as new trends in teaching reading. So these maps and graphic organizers, we all know that this strategy is very effective for the comprehension and the reading skill of our learners, especially in the lower grades. I am teaching grade 7. I know and I can tell based on how I use it to my learners, this is very effective for them, especially to the struggling readers. Reading strategies. So when we say reading strategies, comprehension strategies are conscious plans. This is sets of steps that good readers use to make sense of text. When we say comprehension, this is planned. So we should have steps on how to let our readers comprehend what he or she is reading. We should have our sets of steps on how to apply these different strategies for our learners. Comprehension strategy instruction helps students become purposeful, active readers who are in control of their own reading comprehension. Graphic and semantic organizers. What are these? Graphic organizers are known by different names. It could be maps, webs, graphs, charts, frames, or clusters. So this is very effective, especially to our visual learners. But even we don't have, or our learner is not a visual learner, this is also effective for them to easily understand the content or the context of a reading material. So any kind of maps, webs, graphs, charts, or frames, they are called graphic organizers. It is done while reading provides students with reference for thinking, writing about reading. So these graphic organizers can be used before, during, and after the reading activity. This helps students focus on text structure differences between fiction and non-fiction as they read. It also provides students with tools they can use to examine and show relationships in a text. It also helps students write well-organized summaries of a text. What are the benefits of the graphic organizers? This organizer help our students to visualize or present information in a way that is easier to comprehend by breaking down larger or complex concepts or the ideas into smaller and simpler parts. With the use of webs or with the use of charts, this is easily, just like what I have said earlier, it is easy for our learners to break down the parts, the main ideas to the detailed one, the important ideas to the supporting details. That is the benefit of using the graphic organizers. It also helps to develop the cognitive skills such as brainstorming, critical and creative thinking, categorizing and prioritizing content or reflection of our learners. So these are some examples of graphic organizers. I only choose 5 of it. The best 5 graphic organizers that I use when I am teaching, especially reading, the narrative one. The first one is the story map. Teachers can have students diagram the story grammar of the text to raise their awareness of the elements in the author uses to construct the story. And this story maps, it includes the 5 elements of a short story. And what are these? The setting, characters, conflict, plot, and the theme. And this is an example of a story map. Okay, we have, let us give them questions to answer. Who are the characters of the story? What is the setting? What is the conflict, the plot, or the summary and the theme of the text? But before using this type of organizer, we should explicitly give them what are these elements of short story. How can we find these elements of short story in the given text? The second graphic organizer that I use is the vocabulary graphic organizer. From the name itself, this is used to enhance the vocabulary of the learners. So this tool can be used to assess the vocabulary knowledge of students. You can also create graphic organizers including various elements to help students learn new words and of course to learn antonyms and synonyms. We can use this in unlocking of difficulties. Okay, this is an example. You are going to put a word and let them think what are other words that you will associate to the given word, just like this one. So we have the word here. What is the definition of them? How it can be used in a sentence, what is the synonym, and draw a picture that shows the meaning of this word. So to do this activity, I let my students use dictionary. Because with the use of dictionary, this is easier for them to define the meaning of the word as well as to use them in a sentence and to find the synonym of the given words. Dictionary is really good to assist our students for enhancing their vocabulary. The third graphic organizer is the Venn diagram. Yes, this is very effective not only in English but in other subjects like math or social studies or science. And we all know that Venn diagram is used in finding the similarities in the differences of a certain situation, a certain characters, or whatever presented in a given text. So this type of organizer is used to identify differences and similarities. Okay, that's it. So these are composed, or this is composed of 2 or 3 circles. So on the outside part of the circle, that shows the difference, while on the inner part, that shows the similarities. Next, I use sequence chart. This sequence chart is also very effective. It shows timeline of the text, of the important information to the least important information. It also shows the event happened in a story, or it can also be used in giving directions. Okay, sequence chart, that is a tool that helps visualize the order of steps or process or timeline events. And this is an example of an organizer. I used arrow. so that our learners can follow what happens next, or what is the next step or process. And lastly, I use hierarchy chart. These hierarchy charts help visualize the elements of a system, organization, or concept from its highest position to the lowest. So this is an example of hierarchy chart. We can use it to tell the important information and then the supporting details to the least important information, such as examples or whatever it is that we are looking for. So those are the 5 types of graphic organizers that I usually use in teaching reading. So when do we use, or how do we apply these strategies? I have here an example of strategy, which is the explicit teaching. This is composed of modeling, guided or directed practice, and the independent practice. How do we apply this explicit teaching? We can apply it to different types of strategies that we have in different skills that our students have, whether it is reading, writing, listening, speaking, or even viewing. The explicit instruction number 1 is modeling. So when you say modeling, this is the part I do. The teacher is doing it first before the students. What is the teacher behavior? The teacher behavior, she or he is going to initiate, model, explains, think aloud, and shows how to do it. While the learner behaviors, they are going to listen, observe, and create an example based on the teacher model. That is the modeling stage. The next stage is the guided practice. This is we do. In this term, or in this stage, the teacher is the one who guides the student. We do teacher and learner activities. So teacher behaviors, she is the one who demonstrates, leads, responds, suggests, explains, acknowledges, and answers questions. On the other hand, the learners, they are also the one who listen, interact, ask question, collaborates with his or her classmate. They're the one who respond, tries out, and participate the given activity. And the last stage, that is the independent practice. So in the independent practice, this is you do. We let our learners or students to do the given task or the given activity. And the teacher behavior in this stage, she is the one who scaffolds, validates, teaches as needed, of course, gives assistance still, evaluates, observes, encourages, clarifies, confirms, and coaches. While the learner behavior, they are the one who apply the learning, take charge in everything. They are the one who do the practice, solve problem, approximate, and self-correct. So that is how we are going to use the explicit teaching. We should give example, guide them until the day that our learner will be the one who do it with themselves. Okay, the modernized strategy with the use of the graphic organizer. So based on the research, I use the visualizing organizing using digital textbooks. So as the modernization is inevitable, it can't be stopped, and it already started during this distance learning. So the visualizing organizing using digital textbooks, in a research, it is said that the learners, they are more focused when the textbook use is in digital form, with the use of laptops or computers or tablets rather than the printed ones. So for them to easily understand the text, or for them to easily hooked up in the reading text or in the reading material, we can use digital textbooks, or these are called ebooks nowadays. So in some areas here in Palawan, we can't apply this digital textbooks, but sooner or later, maybe most of our students will use laptops and ebooks in different reading materials they have. So what is the use of it? motivates learners in reading, of course. Even we are the one who presenting them PowerPoint presentation or video presentation, we can observe that they are more attentive than we let them read. Okay, next, helps learners to visualize thoughts creatively. With the use of the graphic organizers and with the use of the ebooks, they can visualize their thoughts creatively. They can think beyond of their imagination. And lastly, it improves learners to organize thoughts from the reading materials. Yes, the use of the graphic organizers is of course to organize their thoughts from complex to the important concept or content of the reading materials. And the application of different graphic organizers, scaffold your instruction by providing prompts for each section on your organizer. Differentiate which organizers to give to which students. Of course, we should assess them first. The beginning, middle, and format is the simplest, and other more complex maps can be used with more advanced students. Students can use graphic organizers to plan, summarize, and write their own main ideas about a certain topic. And my presentation ends there, and I hope you learned something from it. You learned some different graphic organizers on how to apply it, especially in modernization, in terms of modernization. Keep safe, everyone, and God bless us all. Thank you.